Good afternoon and welcome out to the Dice Tower. My name is Chris Yee.
I'm Joey Evans.
I'm Camilla.
And today we're continuing our top 100 games of all time. Doing... Oh, I need to be quicker. Top 100 games! Do it!
There you go. You want my attention. You got it.
Hey, we want to give a shout out to the World Series of Board Gaming,
Yes.
as we've been doing throughout this whole series here, with a cool, fun announcement that we get to say now is that if you come to the World Series of Board Gaming for open gaming or for competition tournament playing, just to hang out, just to check out the Dice Tower West library and play with many of us who are going to be there, however you come out, you might get a chance to meet Min and Elwyn, the designers of Lost Ruins of Arnak, who are going to be special guests.
That is really cool.
They're really nice.
They are very, very nice. Very, very humble people too.
Yes.
I met
Really
them
down
at
to
Essen
earth.
one
Yeah.
time, and they were like shocked that I knew them. I was like,
Like, you designed Arnak.
which,
it's like-
I've not mentioned yet in my top 100.
Ooh.
Oh, will it be
Foreshadowing.
this list?
Did it fall off? We'll find out.
That explains it. Oh yeah. So anyway, check out the click the link below for the World Series of Board Gaming, and go. It might be in our link tree. I think it's in there, or it's directly in the video description. So go ahead and click on that. Shows that you, Dice Tower viewers, are showing interest in the convention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So use that link.
And it's in Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby.
You been there?
Been there a few times, mostly in and out. That's where I live. People always say, like, oh, you're from Vegas. Did you grow up in a casino? No, I grew up in the dumpster of an In-N-Out burger, and I was happy for
I
it.
was never happier. Best times of my life were spent in the In-N-Out dumpster.
Best sentence ever.
We're doing 30 through 21 today.
Are we going to name them? I think I've got some good...
Oh, yeah. We're not letting that trend die.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Let's see.
What do you got this time?
Here we go.
Animal style? No, not my list. My list are all evergreens. This list is, or this portion of the list is 742 Evergreen Terrace.
Okay, mine is that part due. It's a Hot Shots joke. Go ahead.
I get it. Mine would be, I guess, I'll say always yes. These are ones that, outside of time constraints, I would always say yes to playing.
I would hope your top 30 would all be that.
I don't think so, no, because some, depending on like mental state, like, oh, I'm too tired, I'm not going to play it on weeknight, something like that. These are always yes.
Really?
Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a difference. There's a difference.
There's not
Cool.
here. These is... No. Okay.
Joey says always no. Let's get started with number 30.
How many times does Chris play Magic in a day?
How many future grandchildren will Tom Vessel have? How many minutes does Z play a game?
I want to say 30?
It's pretty huge.
Those balloons have made an appearance in a lot of these.
That's really
The
funny.
exact same
I wonder if
balloons.
Tom sent them out randomly. They just like send random prompts. I don't know. We have no idea how
Just
this
one of
happened.
each number, please.
That's really cool, though. I like that. That's cute.
It was cute.
All right, so my number 30 is actually a new one on the list, but not really. It replaced one for me.
I love how
And
you made a statement that immediately
it's
was
like,
like,
I
"But
immediately
not
took away
really."
the statement.
Yeah.
This
I
is one
say
I would
something.
always play, but for the fact that I have no desire
This one
whatsoever.
is a lie. But this is the new version of Wingspan, and this is Wormspan.
Oh.
For me, Wingspan was one of my wife's favorite games, and I was fine with it. I liked it. But Wormspan, for me, added that extra element. Well, I do like the theme. I like the idea of dragons and things. But I love the things it introduces, like the caves in it. I also like the guild track.
Yeah.
Up at the top, it kind of gives you like a little mini game that doesn't overcomplicate it. So I really like, and also the exploration I think is more fun as you move over. I mean, you're getting closer to a dragon. I don't know why. Everything for me for this just flows.
It just clicked.
Yeah.
and-
Now, one thing I will say is, because we've had Wingspan so long, it's just been tricked out, you know, with all the different bits and all this stuff. This has not hit that level yet, but I do see this, for me, replacing Wingspan.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoy the theme and the artwork. I like it. I know that's very divisive. Some people don't like the artwork. I think it looks good.
Just take all the upgrades you already have. Be like bird feeders and Wormspan. We're good.
I do. I do like how some people are like, these dragons, though, they're not based on real dragons. I'm like, question. You do know.
Do birds exist?
It's important for me that you know that there are dragons, right? So, but anyway, this is my number 30, and this is Wormspan.
It's a new-ish one. It's kind of like when I did Everdell, how I did
Yes,
like the
you did Far Shore instead.
Far Shore. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's kind
okay,
of
kind of replaced it.
almost like a direct replacement for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my number 30 is 51st State. This is one I really enjoy the slight. Oh, that's the
Ooh,
picture I
wow.
chose. Huh.
Wow.
That's
All
first
right,
edition
so
right
that's
there.
first edition. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I guess I picked that.
That was back when there were 51 states.
Different box cover now, but same game. That is actually the new game. Yeah, those factions are new. Anyway, yes, so I really like the slight symmetry that this game has, where you don't have to learn your faction specifically, but you do have your own trade, what do you call it, the trade economy.
Yeah.
I guess, is asymmetric to your faction, which kind of makes you lean into something, as you're playing out your cards, but you also don't have to. There's so many ways to break that. It's not overhead where you have to learn a real big faction. But this comes down to the multi-use cards for that card. Are you using it to pay for another card? Are you going to put it as a deal so it's a resource generation? Are you going to put it out in your tableau and into your city so that you are getting either points or more resources or an action spot, something like that for it? You have a card that can do multiple things and trying to decide how to put it most efficiently to kind of build your own puzzle and engine here for your end game scoring. I really, really like it. I like that the end game trigger is somebody comes to a certain number of points, so you can really see how the game is going. You see that end coming, so you know when to switch from making deals to building out your tableau to start cashing in on those point locations you have, things like that. So yeah, 51st State is always a hit with me for the multi-use cards and the little bit of asymmetry that you'll feel.
This is one I want to try, but I always see it in that big daunting box. What's it, the master or whatever, the big collection.
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
Just find like a regular box of it.
That's what I'm thinking, 'cause I'm
It's
like-
good. It's really good.
Yeah, even at
Okay.
that, I don't think the master set. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be fine.
It's still
even to
approachable.
get into the master set, yeah, it just has additional factions, which are just different like boards and things like that.
Okay.
It's really easy to get into. Yeah.
Need to try it.
30, 51st State.
All right, my number 30, leading into this whole evergreen thing. This is a game that I will play
Drum roll.
at almost every convention that we go to. This is the first game that, Joey, you and I played together. Do you remember what this was?
Western Legends. No, really. This was
This
vague.
For Sale.
For sale.
Yep.
Yes, this is the one that Chris wasn't sure if he ever wanted to play a game with me. So he's like, let's do this one. It's quick. I can walk away. That's right.
But I
Yes.
pull this out at conventions because there's so many times when we're at a con, and especially one of ours, like Dice Tower West or East or something, we might have a responsibility in like an hour. And it's hard to jump into a game that should be 45 minutes,
Right.
but they don't know if it's gonna, if someone's gonna be like, hey, I'll be right back, I gotta run to the restroom, and you're sitting there
Yeah.
going like, oh, okay, hold on, I mean,
right.
and so anyway, this one it can fill in anywhere.
Yeah.
I can play this at a convention with up to 6 people, and that's amazing. And I've got the chance to play with a lot of people. This great auction game where you are auctioning off 6 lots of land, or 1 plot of land per player
Yeah.
at a time, and so it never slows down in auctions. Everyone's always invested the whole time. You go through this deck of 30 cards very quickly, and you go to the second half where you're selling off the properties. It's always a rambunctious, fun time. I pull it out at cons because I know that this will not go longer than like 20 minutes.
Right.
And I can make
Right.
sure to play games
Including
with
the
people.
teach, including somebody like, ooh, I don't know,
All the vowels.
all that together, all that together, and you can still get it done. I think it still is fulfilling with that 2-part that you talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gameplay. So yeah.
Yeah,
This
I
one-
love this one.
yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying, Drew?
But this one I asked you to play first time I met you. I'm like, hey, you keep talking about this game. Let's play it. Because it intrigued me. A small box game that's this high on your list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, there's one more that fits like this exact same thing coming up later because I like this style of game.
Yeah.
So my number 30, For Sale.
I agree. That was a journey for me because I saw 21 on the back of the jersey. I'm like, oh, they got the number wrong. I was
poor
like,
guy.
they tried. And then they spelled it out. I'm like, what?
I'm
It's
trying
like,
to
in my
figure out if they
travel.
ripped the music because that
I was wondering where they got it from. Yeah.
yeah, because that's one of their like top 10 countdown
Uh-huh.
pieces of music.
Oh, it is. That's
is,
where I
yeah.
heard it. Oh, yeah.
Yep, it's from the one.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool.
So, okay, so this one right here, this is like my new White Whale, this game that this is one of the only ones here I do not own.
What's a white whale?
And
It's what Captain Ahab wants to kill in Moby Dick. So it's like he's like focused on it.
I'm
His-
looking
his
for this.
obsession.
Every time I see this for sale, I always
He wants to
message-
jab a harpoon through it.
I always message Camilla and say, should I buy this one? And she always says, no, that's not the one
And I
you
just
need.
send you a picture of your storage unit.
So this, no, this is when I played with you the first time. This is Project Elite.
Oh, it's so good!
This
Oh, good call.
And you keep telling him not to buy it.
because she's
Yeah.
like, well, that doesn't have what you need. That doesn't have what. It's like,
Okay,
ah.
he sends me like Death Mall Valley. I'm like, no, you don't have the base game. You're stupid. Also, that's the wrong picture. It's a nature game.
So Clover. What was the picture? I missed the picture. Show me the picture, Roy.
I don't have the picture. Yet.
Fine. All
It's
right.
Earth is what it's showing.
Okay.
I think so. It's all quick.
Takes place on Earth.
Yeah, this is my phone.
All right. So probably
We're
mine.
investigating who's at fault here. They will be ejected from this room
This one.
violently.
I'm sure it takes place not on Earth.
And also bring me
Oh
back
yeah,
a cup of
probably
water.
not. This one is anxiety in a box. It's a real-time game where you're just sitting there by rounds, I think 2-minute rounds or something, and you keep moving and you roll. And what's great about this is in between rounds, you make your plans, and then promptly 10 seconds in, your plans are just gone. And you're like, why are you there? I'm like, because.
Yeah.
It's
Or
just
you need to go
so-
somewhere and someone's in your way. Or like the
it's-
one person who had 15 things to do gets them all done, and then you're like, but I can't get this one simple thing. I'm just trying to get to where I can do my
Yes.
objectives. Meanwhile, this, numbnut over here completed 3 of them. I mean, great.
In
other
general,
player.
right? Not just
Yeah.
pointing towards me, but yeah, it's
The royal you.
the royal numbnut. But it's just, yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
But yeah, this is a really good, fast-paced game. And of course, miniatures, dice chucking, everything.
Yep.
It's just chaos.
The best part, I think, is when someone keeps rolling the alien symbol
Yep.
and they're just feeling terrible about it.
Yeah.
But when you're like, wait, I've got a bunch of hit dice, like send them my way. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
even
You're
in
like,
failing,
"Give
you
me an
cooperate.
Yes. You get to mow it down.
Yep.
Yeah, this is. I've been playing this solo, and it's great.
And there's always that one person,
just
like you
kidding,
said,
I'm
is
a
always just
solo.
rolling the alien when you don't want it, and you're like, fine, you are no longer, stop! We have 30 seconds. You do not have 30 seconds. You're done. You're cut off.
What is your major malfunction?
I said I initially played this with Camilla. I didn't say I still do. There's a reason.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
She gets very excited. Yeah, so this is Project Elite.
Really good. Oh,
Yes.
we're done talking about that one. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Maybe. Number 29 for me is a game that is constantly, every time I teach this game, they're like, oh, just like Wingspan. And I die a little bit inside because I don't see that connection. But if it is like Wingspan, then I guess Wingspan's great.
Got it.
Raising robots.
Uh-huh,
Yep. Yeah, no, don't say it.
No. I understand what you mean. I understand what they mean. You're building a tableau from left to right.
Okay. That's all.
You're building a tableau from left to right.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, like so many games do that. Oh, whatever. Anyway, Raising Robots is fantastic. I love the tension of the simultaneous reveal. So you're choosing what 2 actions you're going to take in this round, right? And there's 5 different actions. But behind that action selection is also the strength of that action. But then the general pool comes together with everything somebody picked. So if you're playing with 4 players and you each chose different actions, then you're taking every action. You're just getting a boon on how strong that action is if you also chose it. I really, really enjoy this. Just that tension of hoping somebody, I'm going to take the purple and the green action, but I really also need the blue. So I hope someone else puts it down so I can have kind of the follow action, if you will, I guess, on that one as well. So it's just a resource management. You're planning out your tableau, activating these robots to get more resources, get more points, and be the best little designer robot. And it is adorable artwork, such a fun theme. Again, with the asymmetric characters, you each have this little power that's going to help lead you in a direction, but just great tension of that simultaneous reveal and hoping you get to do the right actions at the right strength.
Right.
Yeah, just such a fun puzzle.
Have you played with the Pets expansion yet?
I have, yeah.
I really like that.
It was super cute, yeah, because
Yeah.
it gives you a little bit more your board interacting with your board and your tableau,
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really enjoy Raising Robots. That's a new addition to the list.
Yeah, it's a great pick. Because you talked about, I think, Bot Factory earlier at one point. I was like, oh, okay, where's the other bot game?
Yeah,
This is
I
where it
do.
is.
I do like my robots.
All right, my number 29 is a game that's been on my list, actually for sale, and this one had been on my list for pretty much ever. Actually, like I said, evergreens. My number 29, viticulture. At one point, my number 10 game.
Okay.
Wow.
And just kind of always are in this area here. I really like this one because the theme is fun. It has this kind of pastoral, and yet it's not farming. It's not as dry. The worker placement is solid. It scales well per player count. All of these great things about it. But I just have a lot of good memories of playing this one with Wendy, and just, you know, that 2-player experience on it is super solid. I think its biggest weakness is that it's longer with more people. Have you played this outside of the one time that we've played it?
No.
No, I think that with 4 players, especially with 6 players, my goodness. Same thing with like Wingspan and Wormspan. Like just the more players, Stonemaier games tend to kind of drag a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I could see that.
But this one is great, and the theme kind of helps the mechanisms shine and be teachable and be quicker to intuit, I guess. I just have so many good memories of this. Wendy mentioned this on her top 100. One of the things that we do is we play with a Matthew Jude variant. Every time that you would draw a card, because the card draw is fairly random, but I think good play, you can supersede it. But it's just more fun to draw one extra card and then choose one to keep.
And choose, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's massive stacks of cards anyway. It's fine. You know what I mean?
I
You're
know,
not
I
gonna-
really like that. I prefer when games do that.
You get to go through
like-
more cards that way too.
Exactly.
Yeah. As
So
well as it really allows you, it's not less of a gamble, right? You're really leaning into whatever your strategy is.
Exactly,
So, I like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, this is one that's barely. I'm surprised it's not on my list. I do like this one a lot.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I've only played it a couple times. Maybe that's why it's not on there, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, played it a lot of times. So there you go. That's why that's my number 29, viticulture.
I like that so much.
It's so impressive to me.
Oh,
Does the
I
animation
love
stuff?
it.
Little.
Oh yeah, it's stop motion animation stuff is like
Yes.
super impressive to me.
Yeah.
And also it's cool as junk art.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That was really cool. That one warmed my heart.
Give you the feels. All right, so
part.
this one, this is actually one that dropped it a little bit. It's a newer game, but this one is, I'll just say it's Earth. I
What?
actually,
Is it
yeah,
the Project Elite picture? That'll make me happy.
It is. Oh wait, let's see.
No.
Oh, is it the Project Elite
What's it look like?
I could change it if I want.
Missed
okay.
opportunity.
Yeah, this is Earth. This one, this one is just, it's so smooth. I think the only word is just, it's just smooth. It feels good. It's easy to teach. I will teach this all the time because it's so simple. It's just the colors, everything activates, and it just feels good. And also that visual, it grows. Everything just happens in your tableau, and you start to do the plans and back and forth. This is just a fun game that clicks really well for me. And I love the fact that you have objectives, you have group objectives, you have your personal objectives. There's so much about this game that really just flows for me. You know?
I think a lot sometimes games like this can be overwhelming to me.
Right.
Because and you go through and you trigger all of these, but you can trigger it in any order you want. And so it really makes sure you trigger it in the right
Yes.
order, and so I really get caught in that AP. I think, the way you say this flows, that's what really sells me on this one, is it really does. It's, you have to do them top to bottom, left to right. And so you are triggering like this. So once I play it down, I no longer have to think of that. It's not, I don't feel as stupid playing this one.
And that's a good point because otherwise they can get overwhelming if you have
Yeah.
all these cards to activate. But if you know, just do this.
Yeah.
It just works.
Yep.
Yeah, and I really enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
no, it's good. It's a game that's grown on me more the more that I've played it and the more that I've taught it. I think that's one of the things. It's
Right.
Yeah.
ridiculously teachable.
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Even for me.
Aw. No, you're right. I was going to come to your defense, but
Yeah, I can't. Not in good
even
conscience.
Joey can teach it.
That's true.
All right, 28 for me is you're talking about for sale, how when you go to a con, this is one of your go-tos, like have in your back pocket. I've got an hour I know I can teach and play and clean up this game and get to what's coming next. But also on a weeknight, I want to sit down and play it just on my own, so it's not just a filler game to me either. This is Ilawa. This is new to my list. It's something I picked up at Essen last year, and man, it has just charmed the socks off of me. I love
That's a charming game?
it is so charming. Look at it. It's adorable. What are you talking about?
Huh.
I haven't even heard of
Oh,
this.
it is so
Was
good.
this picture taken by Google Earth?
What is your problem? You know what? Stop smiling. Your tongue's really red.
Is it?
Yeah. Lay off the popsicles.
It's getting oddly personal.
I know, right?
I didn't realize diet
And
was-
furthermore,
and your vegetable intake is shockingly low.
Lava is one that I know I can teach, and it has drafting, open drafting. You can see the options on the table, but with that drafting, you're getting the card as well as it is dictating what resources you're getting. And so then you're getting those resources to pay for the cards in your hand out in your tableau, which is ultimately building your end game scoring. All three of those are huge buzzwords for me.
Yeah.
I love open drafting, I love that resource management exchange, and I loved end game scoring building. I don't know what that mechanism is called, but when you're building your own scoring.
Yeah.
You know, so if you don't do that well, you could end the game with 3 points, and that's really bad. If you do that, you're not very good.
man.
But it could happen. Yeah, I love Alawa. It's just absolutely charming.
Alawa.
So, yeah.
This one's for you for picking the most obscure game that I think has ever showed up on a top 100 list.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What? Take that, Z.
I've never heard of this, and this is fairly recent. You said
This
you
is,
just
I
picked up
got
last
it at
Essen.
Essen last year.
Has
so
it
you
been
played on the
reviewed
cruise. You
channel?
played on this cruise?
No, because I bought it. It didn't come to the channel. I
Oh,
bought
it
it.
did-
So
okay.
this is my game, my copy that I bought. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, not the
Okay.
channel. So, yeah, it's
Weird.
really good. I
Okay.
like it. Hopefully it comes to the U.S.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, that does happen
Yeah.
with a lot of games. You pick up at Essen or something like, oh, it's a company that doesn't have distribution here.
Right. Yeah. So, really good. Oh, it's on BGA. There you go.
Okay,
Check
well,
it out.
I'll jump into a game there. I guess.
Fantastic.
My number 28 at one point was number 11 on my list. This is a long time one of my favorite Garfield games, and that's Raiders of the North Sea. This is worker placement with a fun little twist that makes it so quick. You're always feeling engaged, and you're always feeling like you get to do a lot of things, because if you go into town, you place a worker, and you take a worker from somewhere else, and you get to do both actions. It just speeds up those like resource gathery, build up kind of turns. Ooh, draw cards, get some money, pay money to get cards out, you know. And so it lets you do more of that quickly, but then you're also kind of sitting there being like, I don't want to open that up because I don't want you to be able to do this thing or whatever, but it's never grinding down. And then you get to go to the north part of the board, which is where you get to raid settlements, and maybe some of your crew members die, and maybe they die gloriously. Like, oh yeah, I recruited this guy because when he dies, I took out a life insurance policy on him. I get gold!
It's dark.
Oh, well, it's all resource management underneath
right.
it all.
Yeah, we strip away that. Yeah.
Take away all the killing.
People here in this chat are saying they prefer Raiders of Scythia, which I've heard that, but I've heard also thematically people like Raiders better with the expansions, but if you don't want to get expansions, get Raiders of Scythia.
Scythia has
Do you-
stuff kind of built into
Okay.
it. Yeah. That,
And do you find that to be true? Like
know,
with
I
your
ha-
preferences?
I actually haven't tried Scythia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was one of the earlier games that Sam McDonald illustrated. And I think that he's become a much sharper illustrator for Garfield games. That one always looked really stark to me, so I haven't tried. Plus, I love Raiders of the North Sea so much, so I do want to try Scythia, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one I played on the app, and I really enjoyed it. It makes me want to play the board game.
Oh.
But I found the app to be like, all right, the first Garfield, maybe this is a good entry point. It'll teach me, and I'm glad I did. I really enjoyed it, but I need to play the actual game.
It's very slick. It's very
Yeah.
slick. And just that look, this is one of the best Micho artwork pieces out there. The board is very pretty and everything. Yeah, Raiders of the North Sea is great. My number 28.
Number 27.
Mom, Dad bought more Marvel United. He's in my room.
Okay, so my number 27, I'm pretty excited about this one. Actually, just fell one. This is one that I actually own, and this is, for me, it has a feel of betrayal, but more coherent story. And this is Mansions of Madness.
Oh, that's another good
You
one.
know,
Joey's on fire today.
I love this game. To the point, I own it, but we never play ours. Every time I want to play ours, my wife's like, Jacob's are painted. So I'm like, okay, I have to play it painted.
She brings up a valid point.
Just looks good.
It does.
And this one, like I said, I'm not a huge Cthulhu fan. I mean, he's fine. But this whole thing, the story is so good. When you cast it to the TV and you've got that mystery,
Got that music.
the music, this is so immersive. I really love this game. And this is another one that I'll slowly start adding expansions when I find them. You know, although I'm not done with them, Someday I will be.
They're just more
You
like
know?
scenarios and
Right.
different variations on it. Yeah, just the scenarios alone. Yeah, they're really
and I'm
good.
never in a rush to finish these either because you're playing the game and you're like, this is what I'm playing.
Yeah.
I want to explore it. Any game that has me invested enough that time will pass and you don't know how long goes, I really enjoy it. This is great. I really love Manchester Madness.
And to be scenario based, it has such a high replayability. I mean, I've played the same not sessions, the same scenarios 4 or 5 times.
Right.
Yeah, with different characters, or I mean, outside of the layout, it's everything else can be really, really random.
It is, and
I
it surprised
like
me
that.
too because after this, I got Journey to Middle Earth like everyone else did because I thought, okay, same system. I like this IP more. And no, I just gravitated back to Manchester Madness.
The theme
You know.
so strong, like you say.
The theme,
Yeah.
just the accessibility. Yeah, I do wish that there were a few more shorter scenarios just so that I could
I
play
agree.
more often.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you make a good point of like, I'm invested in it when I'm playing it. It's
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
so.
is definitely the game of the night. Yeah.
Yep.
Plays out. Similar, one that I just absolutely adore for the theme and for the stories that come out, and I recently played it and I was like, yep, I still like it that much. This is Sea of Legends. I think I'm one of the only in the office that have played it. I think I'm kind of the champion of this game here.
Yep.
It's a pirate game, and you are just going out on quests and fighting big monsters and factions, but ultimately trying to be the most notorious pirate. And you have a lover in this game, you have a nemesis, and you are a pirate captain. So there's 3 different storylines that you can pursue. But what I love about this game, it is app assisted, and the app handles just the storylines. And so as you go through and the story unfolds and you go out on your different quests, it's going to trigger different actions, which eventually, I mean, there's always something that comes out of the game. Whether it's halfway through the game, I find out that my lover is actually your cousin, and you and your cousin had this big like family fallout, and so then all of a sudden you and I are hostile to each other, and
So
like,
this-
like we're like against each other.
This is Maury Povich with pirates.
I don't understand that reference.
Trashy daytime
Got
TV
it.
talk show. Yeah.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah.
And then you can get a second lover, or you can avenge. You know, you can like overcome your nemesis.
Is there more than lovers in this game?
Well, there's nemesis, yeah. because
Oh,
you can,
okay, all
you can
right.
defeat your nemesis, and then they become part of your legendary crew.
And
or
then they become
sometimes you
your
might partner up. sometimes you'll partner up with the different NPC factions that are out there, and so they're no longer
cool.
hostile to you. But
Turns out they're your cousins
they're
also.
your cousins too. I mean, never mind. I'm gonna pull that comment back. Yeah, it's really good. Every time I play this, there is a neat story moment or just an epic moment where you put everything in and the dice fail, or you find out this plot twist. You talk about casting up the TV and just having that cool pirate music in the background. It's sprawling. It's great. It's a dice chucker. There's fantastic story intertwining elements of it. I adore Sea of Legends.
You've sold me on that. That sounds
so
good.
good.
And it's different story every time, right?
Oh, I have a new expansion.
For this one?
Yes, we can play it this weekend at the Big Game Bash. Oh,
Okay. Can we cast it to the big projector in the game hall?
I mean,
so
I don't know.
everyone has to watch our game.
I mean, can we?
Yes.
You're hosting
And record
the Big Game
it
Bash.
so that you can.
Yeah.
record it and then just broadcast it during your next church service.
Yes,
It's a
there we
win-win.
go.
Absolutely.
what
Everybody
we're
wins
doing.
in this situation, mostly me. So I'm here for it. Sea of Legends.
I want to play this one.
My number 27 is one of those games that had a new edition come out, and it's this high on my list and still up there, mostly because of the first edition, but I'm glad the new one exists for people to find more readily now. The one that's still on my list is Mombasa or Sky Mines.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
both of these are fantastic games. It's the same game, really. Where these have an interesting card play system where you put out some cards in front of you, and then you go around taking turns, either flipping over a card to do its really great action, or you're doing some worker placement. There's so much tension because you're constantly looking at the other people on the table. This is one of those heavier, involved Euro games that's not just heads down, run my efficiency engine better than other people, right? You care what other players are doing because they might increase the strength of a company out on the moon, or cutting across the map, and you're like, oh, okay, interesting. That actually opens up something that I could do. So you could go invest in the same companies as other players, or you can kind of be more confrontational with like, no, I want the red company to be doing better than the purple one. So let's fight there. But it never feels like a fighting game either.
Right.
This one, I think I praise it so much because of the fact that you care about the players at the table as much as you care about the mechanisms of the game, which is impressive for a game that has that honestly is a bit of mechanism soup. Like majorities and card play and multiple discard piles and deck building, of swords and worker placement. It's just one of those that it feels like it should have gotten away from itself, and it never did. It's that tight and it's that focused. I'm glad Sky Mines is now available for people to be able to jump into this one with a better theme and everything. And so, yeah, it's been on my list for ever since I've played it.
But you prefer Mombasa over Sky Mines?
For graphical design clarity.
Okay.
That's the biggest issue with this. I like the space theme way better. It's less questionable. It's more comfortable to pull out with people and everything. But like some of the resources, like green and blue, look the same from across the table. Even up close, you're like, this one's green, right? There's like some of those little graphic issues that like, if they're bananas or crates, you're like, well, which one's which?
I feel like those should
Pretty easy
definitely.
to-
Yeah, you should be able to tell the difference between a banana crate.
Well, that's the
Right.
thing. That's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
like, oh, which one's the banana?
Right.
Hand me that
Yeah.
banana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one, please.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So sitting here still at 27. At one point, this is as high as my number 6. as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Mombasa.
All right, my turn. Donkey. Double word score, 26.
I hate this game.
I feel her.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel it. I'm like, preach, sister.
She will not like my number 1 then.
Or the
Message from the stars.
Yeah, so, let me explain that game to you. Okay.
I came in for Dice Star East and I was like, Wendy, I can't even, no. It's like this, please. I don't want to look at it.
There was a comment that was like, yeah, Chris should try to convince Camilla to play games more. It was really funny. I was like, I'm not convincing. To be clear.
We just know it's going to be a no. So, yeah. All right, this one actually went up. It was 41 last year, and now it is 26. It's mainly because the new version came out that made it so much prettier, and then there was an expansion on there. And do you really? I don't know if you
I'm
like
so
this
excited.
game. This is Castles of Burgundy.
Oh gosh, I hate no. I almost got.
I know. As soon as she was so
leave
excited,
that.
I'm like, she's about to be really disappointed. I even felt that. I'm like, there's no way she likes this game.
I almost
I think
got.
she's even told me you don't like this game. All right, but this one, it looks.
hate it.
It's Awakened Realms, and it is. I mean, the miniatures are great, but on top of that, the Vineyards expansion, I think, really adds a lot to this game because I think it widens it. Everything doesn't happen here. You've kind of got something else going on over here, which opens up the gameplay, I think, to me. So Castle of Burgundy, I think, is a great game overall. But the miniatures, I think, are pretty. They're not needed, but I think the Vineyard expansion is really, really good. So this is a game that I know your opinion. Do you like this game?
I have an opinion.
You're Mad King Ludwig. You like that one.
Yeah, Castle of Burgundy is one of those games that I've never figured out why it's so loved.
Yeah.
I enjoy it okay. It runs a little long. I always want it to be like one era shorter and then be like a good length. But it's good. I see why it's like a competently fun, good game, but not like the premier Stefan Feld game ever designed.
Yeah. And maybe that's it, I think. Like I said, I mean, I played it once and it was just such a turn off. And I very, very much enjoyed the people I was playing with. It was way too long. It was at 4. It was just 15 minutes between my turns, it felt like. Like, it was just like, So I thought maybe if I tried it again, I would like it more, but I don't really want to.
I've played the app.
But it's I can see why people would like it, but that experience was such a turn off,
I think the app's my favorite way to play because it's just always my turn.
I agree.
Oh, maybe.
I like the simplicity of it. And honestly, I think I've got both versions. I've got the big Awakened Realms, but I also have the one you just pull out and play because that has its own charm. You see the tiles in the back, hits the table so much easier. So that will probably hit the table more than the big fancy version. But big version looks nice.
Yeah. My number 26 is another adventure game where this one is just all about the adventure and the story. And it's one of those kind of perpetual games where it's not legacy, it's not even campaign, but the state of the board does change over time as you go through seasons and stuff like that. This is Lands of Galzir. This is my cozy game that I go to that's just comfortable, that you can pull it out. The board is changed as it goes through the different seasons, as you visit different places, the different options become available. And so you'll archive some cards, and then a new deck will come forward. You're shuffling in new event cards into your event deck, things like that. Maybe honing in on your character a little bit, giving them the little, really kind of getting the skill sets that you want in them and the balance that you want. But at the end of the day, it's just cozy. It's just about playing through the story. So I'm absolutely charmed by this and this world and this story that just evolves over time. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you've never played it, I can bring you over to play my game that I'm 10, 15 games into, and I've evolved the board that far. But because it's not campaign or legacy, you can jump in, you can jump out. You know, it's just evolving. And so each play is very unique.
I think I might be one of the only people that I'm not crazy about this game, only because, like, number one, not an Ewok, made me sad. But number two, the sideways progression, not leveling up so much as moving that around. You never level up, you just kind of move traits over. And that, I was like, I don't know why.
I don't think you're in the minority. I think I'm in the minority that actually really loves this game.
Well, I know Mike loves it, I think, too.
So, and I think Z's good with it, too. But I mean, I think, like, again, I still think general scale, that is the general consensus. I think we are more the minority of this. But I love it. I don't mind that sidestep because, again, it's cozy. It's just you are evolving the story, but you as a character, maybe you're just sidestepping a little bit and honing in on exactly what you want, but it also means someone else can come. So you're not like a campaign tied to your character. Right. And so for me,
do like that.
This is the, similar to like Mythwind or something like that, where it's just, you just sit down, you know how to play, you pull it out, you go through a couple scenarios, a couple days, read the story, make some interesting choices, and then pack it up, and next time it's there waiting for you. So
I think that's the strength of sidestepping rather than leveling up is you don't come into her games, I have 10 plays in, let me show this to you. By the way, you have like no stats.
Right.
And I'm just amazing.
Right. Maybe you don't have like equipment and you have to rebuild up your equipment, something like that, but you get that as you go through.
I will kill this monster and heal you.
Yeah.
Like this. You liking it? Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So yeah, Lands of Galzier, I am very charmed by.
My number 26 represents a family of games. We've done this a few times, I think, on our lists. And I think for the exact same pick, my number 26 is Pandemic Legacy. But this is kind of sitting in for the whole Pandemic series.
Season 1.
I enjoy... Season 1 is like it's like what I default to, right? If you are going to jump into a Legacy game, Pandemic Legacy Season 1, right?
Yes.
It's the best, I think, introduction into the Legacy system, because it's Pandemic,
right?
Which is phenomenal. I think Season 2 is slightly better, and Season 0, I haven't finished yet, but I think 0 might be the best even.
Yeah.
But any of the other Pandemics, is just the basic one with some of the expansions or without the expansions. The Iberia is my favorite standalone. Clone Wars, the Star Wars, like the ones that like even veer a little bit from like the core of the system.
Yeah.
This game is like synonymous with cooperative games.
Yeah.
You almost define cooperative games as like pandemic style or not pandemic style.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of those absolute evergreens. Has at one point Pandemic Legacy was my number 2 game of all time.
And it's like Libby says, 1, 2, and 0 are very different games. I agree. I think 1 is the play. We were actually just discussing that this morning in Smorgasbord, how 1 is the place to start, because game 1, you start out, it's like, start playing normal game. And you're like, oh, and then halfway through, it's like, hey, when this happens,
what
do
happens?
this. It's like, no, you got to play and find out. Nah.
Gotta do it, Joe.
So yeah, so I like that. So I like it that this is a great place to start, like you said, something comfortable, and then just let the world explore from there, explode.
You about to burn. It's like, wow, you know the point of this, right? She's like, everybody's dead. I won in like 4th month.
In fact, it's only 5 months. Son, yeah. Everything stops in April.
My number 26, Pandemic Legacy.
Welcome back to the Board Game Casual Awards. We've had so many great winners so far. Up next, the award for the most sultry voice in board game media goes to Wait, what? We're not doing the award. This is Dice Tower 100. Sorry about that. Here's number 25.
Okay, did you notice that Mike is the only one that got a headshot on that?
Your picture was really surprised. It was like, Camilla. Snap!
Everyone else is like a screenshot, like what? How? Let me find one of the worst screenshots. And Mike is like,
To their defense, I do save all the best screenshots of you, and they're in the unfair pauses.
If you
file
want
of bad pictures of me. You do.
Yeah, if you want a link to that Dropbox, it's open. Just email Joey.
Yes. Unfair pauses.
Okay, but you also like manipulate them. Like the one by notes. Like, you know what? Never mind. We'll
It
talk
was
later.
pretty bad.
Bad.
We'll talk later.
Oh, there was.
Offensive. Yeah.
All right. This My number 25 surprised me on how much I liked it. I actually played on the cruise a couple times. It was one of those I walked by and I'm like, hey, would you teach me this? The guy's like, yeah, I played like 5 times. I'm like, why would you play this 5 times? And I played it, and then later that day I'm walking by and there's like one seat open. I'm like, gotta go to dinner, but all right, let's play it real quick. And
Should have had a Lala for sale.
this is
I got.
this is White Castle. This game, I'm surprised at how much I like this game. I think because it's dice placement, or dice management, I guess, and worker placement, and you can kind of manipulate the dice too. But on top of that, there's drafting and defense drafting. It's not hate drafting. It's like,
I like this. It's not murder, it's resource management.
It's zone defense.
It's like, I don't need this one, but I could use it because I know you need it. And it's like...
How would you define hate drafting real quick? For the audience sake.
Okay, sometimes you just draft something, you're like, I don't need that hate. I'm just going to hold on to this so you can't have it. That's full-on hate drafting. This is playing defense.
This is, okay, baby hate drafting. Got it.
But this one also...
In training.
The board changes because you drop the cards down. So every game will be different enough. And I think that's where the charm lies in this. So I enjoy this. And again, I did the same thing. I thought this would be about burgers. It was not. But this, right? But the way it is,
Missed opportunity.
it really works for me. And this surprised me. And you've not played it, right?
I've not, no.
And you have.
I really like this one.
You do like this one, yeah.
This one's great.
Yeah, this one, and again, it surprised me it just looks great on the table. The artwork's great, and it's got dice. You would like this.
I do like dice.
Yes, you got fistfuls of dice.
Yeah, wait
so.
till Joey defensively drafts you.
Yeah. I would not do that. No.
Defensive drafting, my second least favorite mechanism.
Oh, so yeah, that is wanted to try White Castle.
Euro heavy section of the list for you.
I know, that's crazy, right?
Maybe I should have named mine Dice Baby, because I feel like they're all dice here. My number 25, actually, we talked also about on Smorgasbord this morning, because that's another Rob Davio game. This is Cthulhu, Death May Die.
And he may.
Oh, it's so good. It's right up there, and
really
very
good.
similar to Mansions of Madness that you talked about.
I agree.
This one's not app-based, so that doesn't bring the theme, but I think it gives you very similar vibes and feel in the gameplay as you're going out and you're exploring whatever it is you're exploring. Depends on the scenario, right? They're all a little bit different, but you're exploring and monsters are popping up. This one has a really interesting component to it where you're slowly going insane, but as you get insane, you also get more powerful. But if you go too insane, then you die. So you really have to be like, oh, hold on, I want to go insane. And when I hit these key points, I get these power-ups, and you feel really powerful. But also, it's very precarious. You're getting closer and closer to that precipice of just, ending the game and dying. I really like that, and I feel like every game you play of this comes down to the last couple turns. I mean, that's what Z was talking about this morning in Smorgasbord when he brought it up. It's like, it always comes down to those last couple die rolls, and you're just holding them in your hand, you're shaking them, and you're like, oh, this is it, guys. Do or die right here, right here.
Those are good moments.
And every game of this ends like that for me. I love it. Doesn't matter if you're fighting, the cultist or the big massive Cthulhu and climbing up and chopping his body to bits. It's all it all just comes down to those last final moments.
And I
really enjoy it.
There's 2 types of people: those that have to be Rasputin, those that could be anybody else.
I like being the Lizzie Borden character, the little girl with the axe.
Yes,
she's so good.
Yes,
She's
those 2,
so
that
good.
and Rasputin, those 2 are just like almost OP.
Those are they're so fun. You just feel insane. Anyway.
Is it a Lizzie Borden thing? Is it based on Lizzie?
Yeah.
Yeah, her character name is Borden.
Yes.
A girl with an axe.
Absolutely killing things.
It's sad.
Not family necessarily, but anyway, yeah, it's really good.
I used to play the Menendez brothers.
my favorite resource management game.
I've been watching that anime. I've been watching that show, Delicious in Dungeon.
So good.
I haven't heard that.
It's just
What?
it's like a D&D party goes into a dungeon and they're just like learning how to cook the monsters in there.
Oh yeah.
And so now I'm
Okay.
just thinking about like winning that Cthulhu scenario and being like, all right, get the pot.
Dinner time.
about
yeah.
to
Yeah, Cthulhu Death May Die. Such a great, fun, epic, cooperative.
I agree.
My number 25, brand new to the list.
Hey-o.
This is the only one actually that's
Brand new game or brand new to the list?
Brand new game from this last year.
Okay.
From Board and Dice. This one's Barcelona.
Okay.
This is one that has really impressed me. Danny Garcia busted onto the scene with this, and then also the other one, Arborea, which did not make my list. But this is the one that really sticks out for me. Great worker placement-ish feeling game where you place on the grid, you do the column and the row action, and so you get to make really good combos each turn. It is a heck of a point salad game where most of the things that you do in this game will earn you points, and yet for me, the game is still also very focused because you don't get rewarded points for doing really dumb basic things. It's not one of those games like, you collected 2 wood, 2 points. Like, thanks. You know what I mean? But everything that you do, you are building up so that if you lay a road out on the board, 1 point. You lay a second one connecting to it. Well, that one piece is worth 2 points. So you're always sitting there going like, oh, do I set up other people? Do I take advantage of this thing now? Do I build up buildings in a different way so that I'm building up the city, kind of the point of the game? And because everything is so intentional, it feels more satisfying than a lot of other point salad games for me. I think this is a phenomenal design. I am looking forward to pretty much everything else now that this new designer, Danny Garcia, is going to be putting onto the scene. Windmill Valley is coming from Board and Dice soon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, Danny Garcia's he's good.
He's so solid.
My wife loves this game. I've only played it once, but she just adores it. Yeah.
Yeah. I played it with her actually, and
Have you?
it was one of those that, like, when you teach a game to someone, you're always kind of hoping that they'll enjoy it.
Right.
I when I show a movie to someone, I look over halfway through it and I'm like, I hope they're not texting. I hope they're not like. But Alex was just like standing up, like cheering in her chair constantly. Like, I do this. Yeah. I'm like, I think she likes it.
Yeah, she loves this game.
All right,
Probably
anyway.
a top 10.
All right, 25, Barcelona.
So who do you think won?
Caleb, of course.
24.
That was great.
That was good, yeah.
Wow.
Like Tom would appreciate that one with all the masks.
All right, so my number 24 is a 2-person game, and it is by Roxley.
It's so good.
And
Man, you're on fire today.
What is it?
Joey, it's Radlands.
It is Radlands.
Oh, so good. Tell me more.
Yes, this is a 1v1 post-apocalyptic type of game, and you're battling each other, where the whole thing you're after is not gold but water. Water is what you're going to do to go back and forth. This has one of those mechanics that it is very hard, not a mechanic, I guess, it's almost a fault, but it's one of those things you can put into a game to a point to where cards are OP, but if there's so many OP cards, then no cards are OP.
Yeah.
Because there are cards that are really good, but odds are they're going to have one of those cards that's really good too.
Yeah.
And this is a 20 to 30 minute just battling game, and it just looks great on the table, and it just, I love this game.
Yeah. This game I feel like fixes everything that I don't like about these 2-player battles, like about TCGs or anything like that. It kind of fixes those things, where, maybe they're not going to undo what you do because you see that event coming. They're not just going to boom, blow everything up. Or if you have a wasted card in your hand, you can use it as a resource. They're multi-use. Like, everything I don't like about those kind of games, I feel like this fixes.
It's so smooth, smooth, streamlined, easy to teach. I hadn't played it in like a year, taught it just a few weeks ago. I was like, yeah, that's really all the rules.
Yep, that's it.
Have at it. Go to town. I agree. This one's high up for me. It's out of my 100, but it's like the exception to that rule. I tend to dislike this type of game. It's so good.
I agree, and I wouldn't have even put it in the same as a TCG or whatever until you mentioned it, because
really? Yeah.
because it's so. I think for me, it's like I play it far more to the point to where people ask me, "Do you play this?" Insert TCG. I'm like, well, probably would rather stick my face in a fan, but not really, but no. But this one, it just feels good. It feels smooth. Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't compare the two, but yeah, it's good. 1v1.
think this might have fallen off my list
It's on your
accidentally.
list?
I think it might have accidentally fallen off. I don't see it. Oh my gosh, I'm saving all my comments for it. Now I gotta save them. Or I gotta not save them. I gotta share them. I have so many thoughts. Oh, I'm so sad.
That's sad. Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm not gonna read. Don't listen.
It's not on your list?
It's not on my list. That's a mistake.
I'm sad.
It's so good.
Give it a number. What number would it be?
8, 6,
Hold on.
2,
I don't know.
4.
I'm thinking less than 20. That's why I was like, yeah, it's going to be on there. Where's it actually for me? So I don't think we would have passed it yet.
Okay.
Maybe I did already say it, though. Someone's going to call me about it. It was your 57. I'll be like, no, your mom.
That's the shell on it. All right.
Good pick.
Radlands.
Maybe it'll be on my list next year. We'll see. All right. My number 24 is Marvel Champions.
Really?
Yeah. I like this game a lot. I really like.
You're not convincing me. Just change it to Radlands right now.
I'm a little thrown off at the moment. I'm considering how quickly Roy can switch these pictures out. No.
This is on your list?
I love Marvel Champions.
How have I not know you like this game?
Because you don't listen to me when I talk. You just make fun of me for
What?
shrieking.
Shoot, Chris already beat me to it. He's too fast.
No, I really like. It's an approachable deck builder where you don't necessarily, or I guess the pre-built decks they come,
Right.
so it's not deck builder in the game as a mechanism, but you
Yeah.
can build your character in your deck. I really like how approachable it is where you can just buy one and play it off the shelf, and it still has a lot of personality. Or you can take and really build and customize that deck before you go into a battle, either for the battle or your personal preference or something like that. It has incredible variability with all the different characters against all the different villains. You can really suit it to your play style, find the ones that really jive with you. I love Drax, but War Machine, man, he's my heart and soul. I think I always go in. Oh man, it was my number 64. I included it. Oh man, that's probably too low. All right, come back next year. We'll see. Also, thanks. But no, I think the last 4 or 5 times I've gone to play this game, I've been like, all right, I'm gonna try someone new. Nope, War Machine. I have my characters I love to play it. So I love that you can play it to your play style. Me, I like to have my characters I like and switch out the bad guys. But if you want to go with that comfort bad guy and really get into the different decks and how they play differently, you can. It's just one of those that's approachable and something for everybody.
I think what's cool about it is that there are the people who play this who want to always be trying the new characters.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, having a comfort character is possible. And I think that speaks to the fact that it's a very fun game.
Right, and you can never deck build if you want. You can just get the pre-built ones, or you can really go in and just completely disassemble them and be like, I customize the deck every time, so. But without feeling like there's not a starting point to get in this.
I agree.
So yeah, I really, really find Marvel Champions approachable, and I really enjoy it.
I
It's very
remember-
comfort.
Yeah.
Very
This would have been on my list if I remembered, so yeah. I like it.
All right, number 24.
It was actually your 64, Joey.
It was.
Yeah, check out my 64. I wonder where my lands were. Hold on, I'll be back. Go ahead.
All right, my number 24
busy.
is just another one of those staple games that's been here forever. Also from Board and Dice, just like my last pick, Barcelona. This one is Teotihuacan.
Oh.
Man, big ol' chunky dice rondel mover on this board. You have a lot of ways where you can play it to try to kind of combine your dice together so that you get to take huge actions, but also you're like, oh wait, but I want to take lots of small actions so the dice level up. It does that thing that like apiary, I'm going to assume was inspired by this. As you take actions, the dice pip up and level up and strengthen.
Okay.
And I think that that's just really cool. Speaking as a Eurogame player, I'm like, ooh, some of the action spaces have spreadsheets on them.
Oh my goodness.
They really do, right?
Like non-automated spreadsheets.
Wow.
Oof.
But this is one that I've played. Tommy Miller in the chat saying it's on Board Game Arena, and this is also one I've played a lot on Board Game Arena. This online, I think, is what helped pull me through a lot of 2020. Just like being like, oh, I'm going to play on Board Game Arena again. And they had this game, just one of those like really satisfying, crunchy, heavier Euros to get into. Still love playing it in person, playing it digitally. However, it's great. So
I have not played this one yet. I
I
need to. My wife would like it, is that what you're going to say?
Your wife would like it. you're the guy that had Castles of Burgundy.
You did.
on
That's
your
true.
list, and
That's
White
true. But this
Castle.
one looks like a lot of spreadsheet. So I'm curious.
You were.
It's
I was
very
proud of you till that moment.
it's procedural, but I think that the dice, like it never gets away from itself because the dice can move around the board, 1, 2, or 3 spaces. You only have 3 dice to work with, and so you're like, I reasonably only have a few options that I set myself up for. So I think that you might enjoy this one because it lets you set up like really cool power moves and have fun with it. So.
I'll try this one.
All right, 24, Teotihuacan.
This is my 24th favorite game of all time.
In that case, let's just play mine.
Why?
Because this one is my number 23.
What?
That's awesome.
They're fun guys, yeah.
I like them. All right. My number 23 is probably this. This is a race game that actually feels like a race, and this is Heat. Pedal to the metal. This game is really. I enjoy this. This is hit every time. Except for once that I hit it on the table.
Once again, with those statements that
Yeah, it's like, okay.
backtracks.
99% of the time this hits because it's just the build up a heat in the engine. You just kind of take that chance on how you hit that corner, and it just feels good. And the catch up mechanic is great on this as far as being able to be behind and knowing you're not out of the race.
You're never out of the race.
Yeah, and that
Shockingly so, yeah.
which really that balance is something that feels so good when they're hitting that first corner. You're way back here. Then later, it works really well. Now you have played with the campaign and adding the different things, and I have not even dove into that yet. But
So good.
and I'm excited to try that because this game just works as is, and it's teachable too.
Yeah.
You know, and you just be able. And then also, it's use the word procedural. It is because you look and you're like, I do this, this, next,
Right.
this. The way they streamlined and organized this game just feels good.
Yeah.
You know, even with a slight push your luck element.
It does take a little bit. I think it takes like one lap to really
Right.
wrap your head around everything. But the fact that everything is right there on your
Yep.
player board, you know, the actual procedure, and you have to go through that a couple times. But once you do, yeah, it's a lot of
Right,
fun.
I agree.
It's good.
You know what I almost would do with this is because it takes a lap to. You know how like a lot of professional races will do the seeding lap. That's a thing, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's a thing. I made 2 sports references today. I might do that actually next time I teach this. Just do like
Yes.
one lap and be like, okay, everyone, like now you're lined up, go.
And now we restart, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those games where it's
That's
good to
pretty
like
neat.
teach it and then stop. And you know, there's lots of games I'll do that. Like, let's play one round and then reset. I do that with
Yeah.
Project Elite almost every time.
Yes, you do.
Because yep,
Yes.
and you liked it.
I
you
did.
stayed for the full game.
I did. I got yelled at a lot.
You did.
Yeah.
You also yelled a lot.
I did.
Yeah. All right. All right. So I looked it up. I did find Radlands. Thanks for looking that up. And I saw that Radlands was originally 21 the first year I did a top 100, and so that's why I was
That
thinking it was
checks
in
out.
this range. So I was
Yeah.
thinking about it, also listening to what you guys were saying. But while I was thinking about it, I was like, you know, I think it just really speaks to how many good games have come out, you know, because it's
I
like,
agree.
you say it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love it just as much. Man, these top 100s are so hard, and we're definitely getting into that chunk where
Yeah.
it's just, I can't even express, like they're all number ones.
Yes.
You know, it's really difficult. So anyway, my number one,
Whoa.
23.
We're jumping ahead, folks.
My 1-23 is Frostpunk. I love everything about Frostpunk. It makes me, I love the sawdust. I was going to say the child labor laws, but I probably shouldn't say that.
Lack of laws.
The lack of laws, the ability to make your own laws. No, I love the decision tree in this, where you are going to be passing laws, and depending on what law you pass, it takes other ones out of the pool of ones you can play, you know, or it opens up other options, and some things maybe might at one point kind of become automated, and you can do more exploration and going out, but you're trying to survive, you're trying to thrive, you're trying to explore on this generator, but also not have the generator explode. You know, because it's kind of this, it's not like post-apocalyptic, it's like in apocalyptic kind of feel, you know, but not the human element, it's like the natural
Current
element.
apocalyptic.
It's like it's apocalyptic, but of the elements, not of, you know, people fighting and stuff. I love this game. It's so much great discussion, so much great like, oh, this is a bad choice. But we're all good with it, right?
It's one of those things where it's like you have to really put reality aside and say, I'm going to be a different person playing this.
Yeah.
Especially the first round, you're like, okay, first things first, let's put these kids to work.
Yep.
You know, it's like, man, it's so dark.
Yep, you're complaining again, you get sawdust on top of your dinner.
Yes.
You know, yeah, who's hungry now?
Oh, yeah.
So good. It's so good. And I love the design of this as well because it is you talked about procedural, it's very rules heavy. But because of that, the game is split up into 4 different roles. So if you're playing with 4, you each get this role sheet for your specific things that you're in charge of. And it just eases that teach. And of course, you're playing with 2, you each get 2 of those. And 1, you do it all. It just makes it something really, really heavy, approachable as well.
And every role has sawdust in it.
Maybe. I'm not opposed. I almost won. So that's a lie. I was not even close to winning. But still my number 23.
That's a good one. It's a good one.
My number 23 is a post-apocalyptic game that takes place in a world of squares. It's called King Domino. 4 kings are vying for power over the land. No, this is a domino game. This is
No, guys, let's settle down.
He tried, okay? He tried.
The crowd goes crazy.
I'm tired of having all these Euro games after you describe like Mansions of Madness, Frostpunk, Redlands.
But have you heard of dominoes? Matching tiles.
But no, it doesn't actually really have dominoes, though.
Yeah.
So sad.
I have this really high on my list. This is one of those, in my opinion, like perfect games that it plays great 2 to 4. I think it plays oddly best at 2. You play with the 7x7 grid, and it becomes a crunchy game. And I've played all of the variations of the Roll and Write, the Moon River, the Western one, and the Origins. I like all of them, but I still just like this one the most, partly because it's so teachable. It has a good amount of mechanisms in it that are clever and thinky little moments, but they never bog the game down. Just the turn order, choosing what tiles you're going to do, building up the little landscapes and everything. It's so satisfying. I just taught this to some friends and a few kids actually at a friend's house. They had me over for barbecue, and I was like, hey, I'll bring a few little games. This was one that was a big hit, and they thought it was. It's fun to see that joy as people were like, I've never seen something like this before.
Right. Yeah.
I almost didn't play this because it looked too doofy and too simple for me, and I'm super glad I ended up doing it. And so yeah, my number 23, King Domino.
This is a good one.
Here we go.
That's a catch. 22.
Get it? All right. It's catch-22 is a phrase.
I get it.
All right, fine.
No, I like that. That was a good.
My number 22, ironic, this is in this one. This one just fell a little bit. This is one of my favorite games. This is one of the games that they have hit their stride with expansions on this. They've had 2 just expansions that have nailed it recently, and this is Lost Ruins of Arnak. And
so good. Ooh, hey, creators will be at a World Series.
I know. I wanted to spoil it. I'm like, oh. Yes, and I will say I geeked out. I think at the church service, or I saw them somewhere. They had their shirts on in front. I'm like, oh, it's them.
Did you get like starstruck a little bit?
I was like, oh. Yeah, it was pretty neat. So
did you hug them? Did you embarrass us?
I did. I embarrassed you a lot. But
just walk up to them. Camilla loves your games.
I just whisper it. So this is great. And again, this is fully upgraded, our version. And I do like the Leaders expansion, I think, is a necessity on this.
The what one?
Leaders.
Oh.
You know, and also the new one. The new, what's the new one?
Did you?
I heard Alita, and I was like, Mark's
Elitist.
Mark Street's kind of lead expansion. But no, you've got, then also the Missing Expeditions is the newest one, I think, right?
It is, yeah.
Really good. The campaign, the 2-person.
It's really good.
This just does everything and doesn't overcomplicate. I think moving up that track, everything about this I really enjoy. You know, and again, I'm a sucker for archaeology themes. I think that's probably one of my favorite themes in board gaming, and this just does it really, really well.
Yeah.
So this one, I know most people out there have played it, but if you haven't, this is Lost Ruins of Arnak, and I just love it.
They said it was my number 65, and I had to check. I was like, what? I don't see it.
Wasn't that?
So, well played, Chad.
You got really sad.
I was like, yeah, really?
You checked.
Fine.
Yes, okay. So I think you like this, I know.
I definitely do. Yeah, you'll
okay.
enjoy this one.
Yeah,
I like
is a
this
good
one a lot.
All right, so Lost Ruins of Arnak.
You're 65. You don't like it that much.
Yeah, I checked. I was like, I think I like it more than that.
What number was
I
it?
don't trust myself anymore. Stop. Don't worry about it, Joey.
Fine.
My number 22 is a game I am a champion of. I love the upgrading dice. I love the going to locations. I'm just trying to make the best of my character and just feeling stronger and stronger as the game goes to be the ultimate Tidal Blade. So it is Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef. So like I said, you're playing with a character and you're trying to you're managing your own personal resources, which is like your spirit and your energy, things like that. But you're also going to these locations doing these tricks in order to upgrade your dice. Huh? What's
Squishy fruit.
Oh, they have squishy fruit. It's so good. Not edible. No, it feels good. But you're upgrading your dice to where they are better and better as the game goes. But these big monsters are coming in through the rift that you also have to decide to go fight off. So it's kind of controversial on this. Not controversial. People don't like it divisive, as you say.
He says divisive.
Divisive. I guess that's right. That's what always throws me off. If you go up to fight them, whatever dice you use against them, at the end, the resolution, you lose them. That doesn't bother me because I think it's just another part of the game. The managing of your dice, just like a hand management. This is dice management, which wants to upgrade, and you don't have to use those upgraded dice against the big bad monsters that come in, but it just feels so good to take them out and just reap those rewards. I really enjoy the flow of this game. It has that dice chucking element to it, but a lot of mitigation as well. And you got to know, do I have enough mitigation to go into this battle yet? No, one more turn where I go over here to get another fruit in order to power my turn, and then I'll take that risk. So yeah, really enjoy Tidal Blades and the cadence of the game.
I just don't recognize that cover when it's not this wide for some reason.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't recognize the retail version. So I'm still looking to get the deluxe one, and then I want to take and somehow get it all the way down to fit in the retail box. But then I'm buying the game twice.
Magic.
So I know, magically. It's one that I would buy twice just to have that middle ground.
I want to play this again. I think I played it once or twice, and each time it went a bit too long. We had new people, but I did like it. I need to play it again.
If I'm playing with new people, I wouldn't go above 3.
Okay.
Yeah, even 2 I think has a really good. There's a 2-player variant, but yeah, I think 3 is my sweet spot for the game.
Okay.
My number 22 is a game I have actually bought twice.
Did you get rid of it and then you realized you missed it?
Did Wendy get rid of it? And then you got mad and you bought it again just to spite her?
Wendy!
This is the new story. We don't actually know what happened. This will forever be how we remember it.
I'm going to need you to write more stories about my life in this vein. I really like this. No, I own 2 different versions of this game, and I'm about to buy a 3rd version of it because this is vegetable stock. Very small card game. Like I mentioned with For Sale, I love having this type of game that plays up to 6 people, easy to pull out, so fast to teach and play. This one's even quicker. I think that this game should not last any time longer than 10 minutes. So vegetable stock exists at Essen. Last year I also bought, they have, what is it called, niche hobby market or niche board game collector, which is a version of the same company, Taiwan Board Game Design, Good Game, redid for one of their Taiwan game conventions. And they, instead of having fruits, have just different games that were being premiered there. And it has a slight little different rule scoring twist on it. So I was like, well, I'm going to buy it. And then Arcane Wonders is putting this out as a Dice Tower Essential.
Which will be actually at Dice Tower East. I'm excited. We're going to have a copy at Dice Tower East of the new printing.
With minis.
It'll have new art and everything.
It'll now be a dice chucker, right? I'm so excited.
This game is so good. You just deal out number of players plus 1 card on the table. Everyone picks one. Like you said, that open drafting. Leftover card will increase the value of that fruit for endgame scoring. If it gets too high, it crashes down. But then it can kind of start climbing back up. For the fact that it's 6 turns. The whole game is 6 turns long.
I like that.
When people play it early on, they're like, this is pointless. And then by round 4, they're like, the carrots are about to bust. What do I do?
I've never said that in my life.
Carrots are about to bust.
You clearly do not play with enough dynamite.
Clearly. Oh, yes.
Or
I
microwave
agree.
enough fruit.
I concur.
Vegetables?
But yeah, this is an amazing game. If you haven't tried this, I'm super happy that this was able to be picked up as a Dicera Essential. It should be sold. It should be sold everywhere. It's one of those games that should sit right next to Uno and Phase 10. It's that simple. It's that approachable.
High
Anyone
praise.
can play it.
But where is it next to Castles of Burgundy? Okay.
Bonnie might like point salad more. I wouldn't have believed that if she only had 5.
Right, yeah.
But no, I do. Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, no, this one is phenomenal. My number 22.
I'm Ian.
I'm Stacy.
And we are Where There's a Wills, There's a Play. This is Dice Towers
Top 100.
number 21.
Oh, I like that with all the components. You see the Lost Ruins of Arnak little location?
I did catch 22.
Not.
Did
You did not.
Was it not there?
Finish that sentence. You did
Was it
not
there?
see it. It was there.
Are you
If
sure?
I'm positive it was there.
Rewind it.
I'm Stacy.
I like how Roy cut me off because I was about to roll right into my pants.
You're like,
And Roy's like,
he's got to like go to the bathroom or something. He's like, guys, hands.
I'm going to shut him up. All right. Now, my number 21 is actually a crossover.
With
and
me.
it is
What?
with you and from this list.
Oh, let me guess. Cthulhu Death by Die.
Nope.
Marvel Champions.
Yes! I said it would be on my list if I remembered it, and I did remember it. So it's still true.
Well done.
It's not
Well
because I
done.
forgot.
Well, I'm the only person that remembers my list, I guess.
It's just, what's that?
No way to 64. Chad.
Chad and Wendy! All right, so I would just like to say names.
Knowing Wendy.
this one-
Curse you, Wendy.
This is Marvel Champions, and I love when a new pack comes in. And I like Marvel. I apparently don't know as much about Marvel as some people in the office. So like I'll play.
Anyone but me, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. So I'll play the character like, this is cool. I didn't know they made X-23 for this game. And
Look,
people are like, no, it's been around for 40
they
years.
created a new character. Isn't that neat?
So,
Yeah.
Girl Wolverine,
Pretty cool.
go!
yeah, I was like, this is great. She should be in more stuff like comics. But that doesn't take away my enjoyment of the game. You know, and it's like, and honestly, for me, the mechanics are a surprise. I'm like, she can heal. But it's really fun. Everything works.
I feel like he hasn't read the rule book.
But
Mechanics are
I'm surprised. Like,
well, I mean, no,
how's this work?
the different mechanics of different people surprise me on what they can do because I'm not familiar with the heroes a lot of times. But I like this. I haven't played through all the campaigns and things. But there's a lot of content, and the mixing and matching of this really just works on this game. And again, like you said, how you can kind of build the deck ahead of time. I don't get in the deck building. I kind of take it as is.
I do too.
You know, I don't know it well enough to make sure there's a good mixture, but I like grabbing it as is and just going at it. So I just love this game. Yeah, so again, I say best LCG is probably my highest ranked LCG. Honestly, but
it's definitely mine.
I'm quite sure it's yours.
It's not. Boom! Take that, Joey.
Oh, I know which one's a
Yeah.
better.
Oh,
yeah,
All right, so
roll your eyes a little harder.
Royal. Okay, yeah. So there we go. Yep, that is Marvel Champions.
My number 21 is another just very pleasing game to me, but it has dice. Dice, baby. This is Genotype. I love the theme of this. I love the integration of the theme. It's one of those that is educational without feeling like it. You know, because you're going through the genotypes of plants, and you are investing in different plants, trying to learn about the different traits and rolling the dice in order to fill those traits and build bigger and better plants and learn different things about them. So it's from. Not
Genius
Yeah,
Games.
Genius. Sorry, I had Kids Table board game in my head. I couldn't get it out. It is from Genius Games, and a lot of their games will come with like a pamphlet of actual information about the game, but you can play it. And I mean, the way I played it, accidental learning, as Mike says. So you're playing the game, you're like, that's really interesting. Ooh, I really like this character. And then after you're done, or this companion, whatever, you see this pamphlet and you pull it up, you're like, oh, that was a real person, and they did this, and this is what they contributed, or oh, that's why the genes are that way. That's why. That's why you maybe want that one and not the other one. You want to research it. So it just has a lot of information that it brings to it. And you can go into that or you can't. It doesn't feel like you're playing a game to get out of class. So it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's very pleasing. I like that it has such a tight worker placement element to it. Money is so tight in this game, which it would have been during this time period as you're a scientist, studying genes. I absolutely adore Genotype.
I am having a message from the stars moment right now. I have no idea what this game's about. But but this is one that I've seen. I'm surprised it's on your list. I guess I've just seen the cover, and the cover never grabbed me.
Oh, really?
So,
the cover's not a grabbing cover. Yeah, and even when you look at the board, you're like, ooh, this is pretty, but it doesn't like jump out at you.
Yeah.
And then as you start playing it, you're like, this all makes sense. This is all laid out very well.
Right.
And it's, right.
So you are just researching the different genes, and so you're going to be growing different pea plants, trying to fulfill different gene requirements, and then investing in your own research in order to ultimately score points, of course, but further this science. So yeah. Really, really enjoy it. And it's very, very pleasing. It's also an easy teach. You taught about a teach. The board, like you said, makes sense as you go through it. It's like
that's what I like.
Very, very smooth teach.
Logical.
All
right, give us a hint. Let's guess it.
For my number 21, let's see. This is also a family of evergreen games. And so a legacy version of this just came out this year.
Oh.
Yeah, just this year.
Ticket to Ride.
Oh, really? Ticket to Ride.
To Ride.
Just the basic, or just the whole type?
The family.
The whole family, man.
Family affair, Joey.
The basic game of Ticket to Ride wouldn't be on my top 100 games, but with some of the expansion maps, Pennsylvania particularly being my favorite, it's amazing. But with Legacy coming out this year, this has jumped up. This was 65, 66, 43 last year. I guess I just really like that Pennsylvania map.
But really jumped up.
It shot up even more to 21 this year.
And it shot up because Pennsylvania or because the Legacy?
Because of the Legacy.
The Legacy,
yeah.
Huh.
Because I keep playing it. Because Wendy and I, if we're sitting in in a waiting room at like a doctor's office or something like that, she'll just like pull out her phone. We'll pull up the Ticket to Ride app and we'll just play that, passing it back and forth. We play this game a lot. And there's no bad version of it. But with those expansions, it's not just a good game, it's a great game. And then, all the ridiculous, zany, kooky, Wild West kind of stuff that came out in this Legacy. What are you going to say about it?
Well, no, I was going to say this game, it's so, all of them, I love them. And the fact that my pastor walked up to me like a month ago and goes, hey, you still work on a YouTube place about games, right? Find out why Ticket to Ride stopped updating their app, and my wins. I have like 10,000 games that aren't showing up on the server. I'm like, do you even know what I do? He's like,
phone call
go into that board game database of yours.
He's like, check out why this happened. But it's pretty funny. I'm like, you play it that many times? He goes, I play it every day, all the time. I'm like,
wow.
That's the one game he plays, Ticket to Ride. He's just Ticket to Ride, Ticket, and it's amazing the staying power this system has.
It is very much one of those games where this might be your game for some people. You know, like
absolutely.
Pandemic or Ticket to Ride. It's like, this is the game we play. I mean, not even hobby gamers that have hundreds of games. Like, no, I just have Ticket to Ride. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah, they bought it at Target one day and were like, this is the greatest board game ever. There's clearly nothing better, and they will just play that game for years. And yet for someone in our position who plays, hundreds and hundreds of games a year, this is still one that's worth coming back to for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is a great pick.
Well, there you go.
List at all.
That rounds out this section of the list. Folks, we got 2 more of these. 2 more to go. Next week, right? And then the week after next, the top 10s are going to be during the Summer Spectacular.
Yes.
So that's going to be very exciting there. We'll be finishing up our group as well as Roy, Wendy, and Jason over there. If you want to go back, if you want to go back and hear the announcements again about the World Series of Board Gaming, most importantly, go click the link down in the video description to learn more about the convention and about the
Watch
fact
our
that
60s to hear about Radlands.
Radlands
Yes.
and Lost Ruins of Arnak.
I'm salty about that one.
Look, you played yourself, I guess.
You did, yeah. You called attention to it. No one else would have known.
But yeah, so there you go, folks. Tomorrow, one more live stream coming from Mike DeLisio.
Yeah,
the DeLisio
solo
Factor.
one, right? Yeah,
he'll
one
be
of his
soloing.
solo plays.
He'll be soloing 20 strong.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
In a
Very
row.
good.
You know, whenever.
In a row, like 20 strong games in a row.
We're gonna end the stream now. My name's Chris Yee.
I'm Joy Evans.
I'm Camilla.
Have fun remembering where you put Lost Ruins of Arnak.
65.
Don't worry about it.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.